Unspoken at David Lloyd's, and normally there's not nobody here, just one-to-one. We get the podcast out and put it on social media. This is a very special podcast, hence this beautiful lady here, Sadie Kemp. Just a little bit of background about Unspoken. Unspoken was born in January. It's a company where I give the opportunity for people to talk about their backstories and save lives through the journey that they've been through. We don't tell their stories here, it's real talk, real life situations, and through the journey, hopefully, in every project that we do, if we can save one life, it's been a success, right? And within this journey, we learn a lot ourselves too. So Unspoken is gonna grow, it's only been born in January, as I said. My relationship with Sadie is it's amazing. One of the best projects that I've ever been involved in. Sadie and me know them both. Was your teacher too?
Yeah.
So one of our old teachers, I used to teach me in school, approached me and said, look, there's a young lady who's got sepsis. I never heard of the word sepsis. I didn't know what it was. I said, you need to educate me about this. Here we go again. So we went through the process of what actually happened. I said, I'd be honored to meet her. And he goes, I wanted to help her. She wanted to be a motivational speaker. She wanted to talk about her journey. I said, no problem. So I met Sadie at the Sultry School, the Sultry Academy, and I kid you not, you're not going to believe this, it's the first time I had nothing to say. I had nothing to say. Even Neil Wilson sat there and went, are you alright? I went, sir, what can I say to her? I need to learn from her. Because she came in and her hands were all wrapped up at that time. She come in limping, and then she spoke, and I thought, what's going on here, man? I remember taking my wisdom teeth out, and I took a month off, and I creamed it for a month, and she's coming all wrapped up, in pain, and what was coming out was the positivity and the realness. I fell in love with it. I thought, okay, no problem. So I said, instead of waiting, let's start a project right now from this school. So me and Sadie did a project with Rico, God bless him, and we did like an assembly. And Sadie took onto the stage, no training was given at all. It was so real, it was a natural because she spoke about her journey, the kids fell in love with her. I was only with her once, remember, and then she got called again for a week. She was like, we got a week. I go, we ain't got a week, you got a week. I ain't got no week.
I'm doing it on my own, you left me.
You're gonna do it. She goes, what are you talking about? I said, you don't need me. Trust me, you don't need me. Go and knock yourself out. So she did the whole week, and I think on a Friday, the last day, I surprised her. I came over and I surprised her with some flowers. Just say congratulations of how well you've done. Amazingly. This is not about me today. It's not about my company. It's about the journey what Sadie has gone through. So what's going to happen today is we're going to talk about the journey, what Sadie's gone through, her family, and what the pain that she went through. After this, I'll do a small little motivational talk, just about a few issues. I will go into Q&A, and then we'll wrap it up. But whilst we do the podcast, if anybody's got a question to ask it. If you want to say something, ask it. Say it's real. This is not this is not scripted. Say what you want to say and be as real as you can. Say if you can introduce yourself and start with the day that we met and why you approached me and nobody else. There's loads of motivation speakers. There's loads of people. So talk about how we met and your journey.
So I'm Sadie Kemp, and like Atik said, we met through Mr. Wilson. I got told about this young lad who goes to Sultry School, Rico, who's actually lost both of his legs through meningitis septicemia when he was 8 years old. And initially, I knew then that I was going to lose my legs. So I was like, if this kid can do it, go to school every day, then I can. And I really wanted to meet him. And on that day, I didn't actually know that Atik was going to be there. And he came in and he was talking about things that he'd been through and things that he's seen in his life. And suddenly it wasn't focused on me losing my legs or this young lad lost his legs. It was about everything that's been going on in the world that I haven't seen And there's me like thinking I'm going to go to this school to help myself. I sort of turned it and thought, he's come to the school to help us because of stuff that he's been through and what he's seen. So I've kind of wanted to do the same thing. And you've been a good teacher.
So Sadie, like, talk us through you going into the hospital and that realisation of what you've got. What was your first initial thinking? How did it go at the hospital? Why did you go to the hospital?
Yeah, so I'll start from the beginning. I woke up on Christmas Day, 2021, so not even a year ago. And I woke up and I felt like a little bit sluggish, sort of like I was getting the flu. Got on with the day. I've got 2 kids, so as you do, you just get on with it. Took a couple of paracetamol, like I said, thinking I was getting the flu. I've got a 2-year-old, so I bought him like a kitchen play set. So it was my first Christmas being a single mum. My marriage ended in the May before. So it's my first Christmas being a single mum, and I thought, right, I'm going to put all these toys together myself. I don't need no one. I'm going to do it myself. So I was like bending over with the screwdriver, getting the hammer out and things. And I did it. I started to get a bit of back pain, and I thought, it's fun putting all the toys up. I've bent over a little bit wrong. Got a bit of a twinge in my back. And the pain started to get more and more intense. But it was sort of like a really bad ache, like a bad muscle ache. So I said to my mum, I'm going to go and get the bath to see if like the warm water eases it. Paracetamol was not touching it. I started running the bath, and I remember sitting on my mum's bathroom floor, and I just screamed. I said, Mum, you need to come and help me, I'm dying. And she was like, don't be so silly, you're not dying, you're fine. I was like, you need to get me to this hospital sharpish because something's going on here. And the pain was like the worst pain I've ever felt in my life, like so quickly. It happened so quickly. It was quarter past 2 in the afternoon when I started to get the initial back pain. By 5 o'clock, I was fighting for my life. It was that quick. So I went to A&E in Huntingdon. My family are from Sawtry, so it was the closest hospital at the time. Went into A&E. They gave me loads and loads of pain relief, and the pain started to ease, but it wasn't fully gone. They said to me that they think that there was something wrong with my kidney, and I had to go back the next day for a scan. So I was due to go back at 9 o'clock Boxing Day for a scan. I was begging, I was like, please scan me now, something's not right. And they were like, sadly, to cut costs, we don't actually scan on Christmas Day. You've got to come back in the morning. I was like, right, okay. Called up my stepdad. I was like, you're going to have to come and get me. Like, they can't do nothing till tomorrow morning. Got back home about quarter past midnight, and it got to like 3 o'clock Boxing Day morning, and I collapsed. I collapsed on the bedroom floor. Woke up, I was sick. I was being sick through the pain. It was the pain. I was just like, I'm dying, guys. Like, you need to help me. And my parents were saying, look, you're due to go back at 9 o'clock. Try and get some sleep. And I was like, no, I'm dying. I picked up my car keys and I drove myself to the hospital. I drove myself to the hospital and I abandoned my car. I remember just abandoning my car outside the hospital, and everything was like I was really drunk. And I remember looking back at my car, and my car door was open, had my purse in like the pocket of the car door. And I was in that much pain, I thought, I can't go back to shut my car door, I'm just gonna leave it. And I went to the floor and I was crawling into A&E on my hands and knees. Kept looking back at my car door thinking somebody's gonna rob my purse, but I just didn't care at this time. And then I woke up from a coma in a completely different year to be told I was losing all 4 of my limbs.
How long were you in the coma for?
So I was in a coma for 10 days, and then I was on intensive care for 3 weeks. And then I got moved to a ward, and my whole hospital stay was 103 nights. So 4 months in hospital.
Did you know that? Did they tell you you went into a coma?
Only when I woke up. I didn't know that I was going into a coma. My last memory was me crawling into A&E in Huntingdon and then waking up in intensive care in Peterborough in a completely new year.
So that you did not know anything about that, you woke up?
Yeah.
Did you think it was the next day?
No, so when I was able to speak, they said to me, do you know what the date is? And I said, 25th of December 2021, it's Christmas Day. And they was like, no, it's not. You're in a new year, it's January 2022, you've been in a coma, you're in Peterborough Hospital. And I said, are my kids okay? That's the first thing that I thought of. I said, are my kids okay? And they were like, your kids are absolutely fine, they're with your parents, you're safe, you're very safe. And then they sort of like sedated me a little bit because I started to panic. I started to want to get out of the bed and be like, what the hell's gone on? Because in my head I just fainted and woke up. I had no recollection of actually being in a coma. And then the days after the coma, the medication that I was suffering really badly from delirium. So I was remembering my coma dreams. And that made me a little bit erratic. So I had to be restrained to the bed because of the coma dreams that I was having were so vivid that if I woke up tomorrow and none of this was real, I wouldn't be surprised. It was real life.
What were you dreaming about? Like, what was it? Like, what were you dreaming about?
So some of them were happy, and some of them were like really traumatic. And like I said, it was as real as today's been. So I'm having talking therapy for all of that. For example, one of the dreams was I was like in a prisoner of war camp. They had like arrested me and my two sons, and they had strapped us all down on this conveyor belt with a skipping rope. Weird. Strapped us all down. I was trying to get out to get to my kids. I was like, you touch my kids, you fucking, you know, like you would. I was like trying to get this skipping rope off me. I was shouting to my eldest son, get your brother. I was in this prisoner of war camp. I was going around on this conveyor belt. 1 minute they were spraying me with cold water. Next minute they were getting men in to do stuff to me. They was like raping me and my two kids, and I was seeing it. So, like I said, it was like so real that like affects me every single day. And this is just from like being in a coma. So like that was the like traumatic dream. It's like going around and watching people like rape my kids and rape me. And then like a really happy dream, so it's like completely flipped. And then like a really happy dream was there was this doctor and this nurse, and they fell in love like looking after me. That's how they met, is through me. And she came in one day and she showed me a scan photo and she was like, I'm having a baby with him. And I was like, oh my God, congratulations. And I remember her face, I remember her name badge. Her name was Jodie, but she was a Filipino. And this doctor was a Rasta man. He was big, had like loads of dreadlocks, he was cool. Anyway, they fell in love, had this baby. They had the baby in the UK and they moved to Cuba. It's so weird. And they said to me, they sent me a letter from Cuba. I was still in the hospital and they sent me a letter from Cuba and they were like, we've named the baby Sadie after you, this is a picture of her. And these faces were real, this family was real. To me, this family was real. So that's like a happy part of it, and then it flipped again, like completely flipped again, that something was happening to something was happening like to my friends. One of my friends had drowned and she was in a bed opposite me and I was trying to get to my friend. I had a coma dream that my nan had died, so when I came out of my coma, I thought my nan had died, so when they came over to me and said, your nan's asking about you, I was like, how dare you? And they were like, whoa, like, what's the matter? And I was like, my nan died, my nan died last month, you know she died, you let me out of here to carry her coffin. They were like, whoa, like, this is like the medication and things like that. So, like, one traumatic dream was then a happy dream, then another traumatic dream, then a happy dream. And then when I finally realised, right, I'm out of the coma, I'm off all of these crazy meds now, they showed me my hands. My hands were black. So then I was faced with like another trauma. And then they were like, it's okay, like we're gonna amputate them, there's so much we can do now, there's so much with prosthetics. And then, so that was another positive, and then they showed me my legs, and they were black. So then I was faced with another trauma. So after every positive, I was faced with another trauma, and I was just like, I can't take this anymore, like, I can't do this anymore, get me home, like this hasn't happened, this is a nightmare, like just get me home. That's just what I thought. And then it took a few days for like it to sink in that it was real, like this is what I'm facing. And then I was hit with another trauma where I was told by a matron came to see me, and she broke the news to me that this was due to medical negligence. So the reason why I've lost my limbs is through medical negligence. So then I was like, so this is someone else's fault. You're telling me that my life has been turned upside down, my kid's life's been turned upside down, and it's somebody else's fault. You're telling me that, and I can't get out of this bed. So I was always sat with my thoughts, constantly just sat there with my thoughts. And then a positive was my mum came in and she told me that my friends wanted to see me. And my initial reaction to that was like, no, they're not my friends anymore. She was like, what are you going on about? I was like, I don't want to see my friends, are you joking? And she was like, Sadie, why? And I was like, they're not going to want to be friends with me. They're not going to want to be seen with me. I can't go out and do the things that we used to do. And it was actually my friend Natalie, who's here now, she left a card and a bunch of flowers at the reception, so I refused her to come in. I was like, no, you're not coming in. I'm not allowing you to see me. Me and Natalie have been friends since I was 15, so a long, long time. And I refused her entry. I was like, no. Anyway, the nurse opened up this card for me, and she had written in the card something like, hello Sleeping Beauty, blah blah blah, and basically taking the piss out of me. And I thought, they're still my mates, so they're taking the piss out of me. So I kept reading this card over and over and over again, and I'll keep it until the day I die, because that card made me want to see my friends. So I was really nervous, really nervous. A few days later, I rang up my mum. I said, right, okay, tell my friends to come and see me. So my friend Natalie and Stephanie, they came to see me. And they walked in, both just gave me a massive hug, sat down. It was like nothing had happened. It was like nothing had happened. My friend Natalie was like, well, you look all right. Get out of bed. There's nothing wrong with you. And I was like, oh my God, it's so refreshing. That's what I needed. I was faced with all this bad news, and my friends didn't care. They were like, well, you know, you'll be all right. And that was the first start. That's the first part of my journey. So I went off on a tangent there.
Carry on.
But that's basically what happened.
Okay.
And it was due to the medical negligence was. So I had my first child in 2005. I was 18. And I kept getting like urine infections afterwards. So they scanned my bladder, scanned my kidneys, so I had a C-section with him. And they were like, oh, you've got a tiny little kidney stone. It's 2 millimetres. You're just going to pass it. It's never, ever going to bother you. You're never going to need a follow-up. It's absolutely fine. This was in 2005. I was like, okay. Never had any problems since. No pain on my kidneys, no problem since. 17 years later, this kidney stone has grown and grown and grown. And it moved from where it was in my kidney, and it blocked a tube which filters your blood. So that kidney stone infected my whole kidney, and it became septic. So when I first went to A&E on Christmas Day, instead of giving me loads of morphine and sending me home, they should have just put me on an antibiotic drip and I would have been absolutely fine. They would have just removed the kidney stone on Boxing Day after my scan, I would have been fine. But they sent me home. When you've got sepsis, you have to get treatment within the first hour for you to have a chance at survival. So sepsis is a complication with an infection that you already have. So it gets into your bloodstream, your heart then pumps around the poisonous blood, which then starts to shut down all your major organs. So when they finally realised that I had a kidney stone and that it was blocking my tube, I was already riddled with sepsis. They took me to an operating table. I put in group chat to my friends. I was like, going down for an operation, it'll be really quick, they're just removing a kidney stone, then I'm going to be on antibiotics for sepsis, I'll be fine. But when I got put on the operating table, I went into septic shock. So all my major organs completely failed. So they put me on a life support machine, got my heart beating again, had a machine putting air into my lungs, and they was like, this girl's too poorly, we can't even get this kidney stone out, we're just going to have to put her in an induced coma, see what happens.
That's how you die.
Yeah. I went into septic shock. So my chance of survival was only 8%. I had 8% of coming out of this. So on New Year's Eve, my family got a phone call from intensive care Peterborough and said, you need to gather the family up, you need to come and say your goodbyes. So for my mum to have to explain that to my children, especially my eldest, because my eldest son's dad actually passed away when he was 5, so all he's ever known is to have me. So like for him to think, if I lose my mum as well, I've got no parents, for my mum to have to explain that to my kids, well, I don't know how she pulled herself together to even do that. Like I'm still a kid, I believe that no parent should ever see their child that poorly at all. So anyway, they got a phone call New Year's Eve to gather the family together to go and say their goodbyes. They started to do that, and the consultant rang and was like, hold up a minute, her blood pressure's rising, let's see if she goes through the night, just be on standby if she doesn't, and just get here quickly. So the whole family were together on New Year's Eve. I think my friends as well, they didn't go out partying like they would normally do, celebrate, they was all in waiting for a phone call. I made it into New Year's Day. They were like, okay, let's see if she makes it through the day. However, there was a risk of, if they kept me in a coma for a certain amount of time, I could have been brain damaged. So it was a risk on whether to turn my life support machine off or to risk the fact that I was going to come out okay or be brain damaged. So they decided to leave it. They took the chance on me and they decided to leave me in a coma. And then from New Year's Day, as the days went on, my blood pressure started to rise, my heart rate started to become like quite regular, my kidneys were filtering clean blood. And then they decided on the 6th of January to try and pull me out of the coma. So first of all, they took the breathing tube out and I breathed my own. They took the dialysis machine off, my urine was okay, my urine was clear. And they pulled me out of the coma. And here I am, and I had 8% chance of survival. I know, so this is my second chance at life. So my initial thinking of my life's over, it's going to be so shit for me and my kids. My friends aren't going to want to hang around with me anymore. I'm not going to be able to work again. I'm not going to be able to drive again. I'm not going to be able to live on my own again. Believe me, I still get those thoughts.
All I ask you is that at any point through this journey, you were to say, I'd rather be dead.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about taking your own life?
I haven't ever planned taking my own life.
I thought about it.
I thought that I don't want to live like this, so I'd rather die. But like, I feel like I'm I'm going to cry again. Because I've got kids. That's the only reason why I'm trying every day. Because if I didn't have them, I'd wake up and I'd be like, what's the point? I don't go to work. Do you know what I mean? I don't provide any money for my children. So, like, if I didn't have them, what would be the point? I think that on a daily basis. When I first came out of the coma, I said to my mum, look at me. Now, why didn't you just turn the machine off? You're an idiot. Why didn't you just turn the machine off? You just made me live like this, you. And I said it to my mum. I was so angry with my mum. I was like, you forced me to live like this. Why? And she said to me, okay, Sadie. She was like, all right. She was like, would you rather your kids come and see you by your bedside and see your face and that they've got a mum? Or would you rather me be taking them to your grave to put flowers on your grave and then never see you again? And I was like, oh my God. And I had this massive panic attack. I was like, Mum, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm so sorry for saying that. I don't know why I've said that. And then I started to feel guilty. I was like, I don't know why I've just said that. What a stupid thing to say. I was like, that's so stupid. And then, obviously, I've been through so many surgeries since. Like, I've been through surgeries where I've had my hands sewn into my stomach. And I thought at that time, I was just like, I don't want to live like this. Like, I don't want to live like this. I don't. And then I look at my kids and I think, I do. I do want to live like this because I can see them. And that happened again 3 weeks ago. Only 3 weeks ago, I had my legs amputated. And since then, I thought, I can't stand up and go to the toilet on my own. I can't stand up and go to the kitchen and get what I want out the fridge. It's like little things like that. I'm like, I don't want to live like this. My little boy, the other day, bless him, he was like pointing to me going, wanting me to go out and play in the garden with him. And I was like, son, I can't. I was like, let's sit here and do some painting. Let's play with some Play-Doh. Let's put some stickers on Mummy's legs. Trying to like distract the fact that I can't stand up at the moment and go and play in the garden with him. I've got to say, boy, I can't do that with you. And it kills me every single day. Like, even when I see like friends like go swimming with their kids or do stuff with their kids, like part of me gets really jealous. I'm like, oh God, don't want to see that because I can't do that anymore. Yet. But it's a very, very long road, and I've got to keep thinking like this until I get there.
How long has it been when you got your legs cut off?
It's been 2 weeks and 5 days.
Okay.
2 weeks and 5 days, exactly.
2 weeks and 5 days ago, I came out of the gym. This is mad. I'm coming out of the gym and I'm driving. I get a phone call from Sadie. She's not told me nothing about her legs because we thought it's going to be another date.
I kept it a secret from everybody, apart from...
So Sadie's rang me. She's crying. I said, what's going on here? What happened to you? Because you're only positive, right? Get my legs taken off, fatigue, get my legs taken off. It's happening right now. Pray to God. I'm thinking, she rang me. I felt honoured. Number one, I felt honoured. Because Sadie knows loads of people. She's got clout, she's got family. But for me, it was an honour, man, if she was praying for me, Atik. And I go, okay. So I'm all tearing up, hearing her crying. So I pulled over. I was saying, what's going on, man? She goes, they're going to take my legs off in the morning, Atik. I want you to make me a promise. Okay?
Yeah, it was in an hour. I said in an hour's time, they're taking my legs.
Pray for me. Promise me you're going to look after my kids. That's a big statement, man. For a guy that looks like this, yeah, for all the shit that Muslims go through, no, just think about it. This is real shit, man. And I said, yeah, I'm a man of my word. I would look after your kids like my own. We had a little chat, and straight away I prayed for Allah. And I'll make this a success. And I rang Fraser straight away. Oh, Fraser! This is what happened! You better pray,
I think I said to you, I've got a real bad feeling that I'm not going to come out of this.
I'm going to die. If I die,
yeah,
if I die, you look after my kids. I said, I don't want that. It was the most, it's the most, I will take that to the grave with me, and I mean this. As the most nicest thing, like, anybody can do for me, because you trust me. I don't even know you that well. Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know you like your clown, like your friends.
Yeah, yeah.
So for you to do that for me, thank you, because you just gave me that kind of hope that yeah, you do trust me.
Of
We're from
course.
two different worlds.
Yeah, 100%.
Completely, you're not even
Yeah.
religious. Like you're not on like a religious. You're not like
No.
you're not praying for. You're not even a Muslim.
No.
So for us not to join up like this, it's amazing. It just shows the world that no matter where you're from or where you are, we can actually say the word like this. Do you understand?
Yeah, definitely.
So thank you for that. And that phone call, I will always cherish that, because for you to do that, it is big for me.
And then after my legs got taken off, I rang you and I was like, I'm alive.
I'm alive. I said, thank God for that. I said, thank God for that you're alive. Just want to ask you, yeah, while we're doing this, why me?
I think because of...
No disrespect to none of your friends. Honestly,
Yeah.
because I know you've known him all your life. But I just, in my head, a lot of people will be thinking, why him? Why this tiny man look alive? What's going on here? Why him?
I think it's because of the stories that you've told me, what you've seen, and what you've done to help those people. I know that you foster, adopt children. So if I said to you, look after my kids, you already look after kids what aren't biologically yours. So I don't know. When I hear you speak, I come away feeling like I did before I got struck down with sepsis. Like I feel like quite confident after I've spoken to you. Like after I spoke to you that time on the phone when I was saying I got a feeling I'm not coming out of this, I was sobbing. I was an hour away from having my legs taken away. I was sobbing, and I think the reason why I spoke to you, I know that you're a man of God, like you've explained all that to me, and since coming through this, I want to believe, like the people who looked after me in hospital, the things that they said to me, they said, Sadie, this hasn't happened to you, this has happened for you. This is just put you on another path to where you're meant to be. And like, truly believing that helps every single day. So hearing you speak and hearing what you've seen, which is horrendous, the things that you've seen are horrendous, I just feel like you'll be able to help me. Like what I'm going through now and what you've seen, I think this is pretty minor. So I can think of something a lot worse to happen to me than this.
Everyone's on a journey.
Do you know what I mean?
Big, it's
So,
huge.
yeah.
Before we go into the
And you've given me opportunity as well. Like I worked every single day. I've always worked, and you saying I'm coming to do an assembly, which is only like 20 minutes. It gave me a purpose to. It felt like I was going to work, if you know what I mean.
Of course.
Like, and then coming back and being like, oh, I've done my job for the day, and now I get on being a mum and learning how to write again and learning how to do my makeup again. It was stuff. Yeah, you've given me an opportunity, so I thank you for that as well.
Before we go to the Q&A and stuff, we'll conclude this, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to ask Sadie questions. There's a lot of people that are going through struggle, and always remember, we won't be able to save everybody. It's impossible. It's God's plan. Just to tell you about one story before we go into the Q&A and stuff. Me and Fraser went into a fundraiser. We got invited to go do a motivational talk. It was to do with children with cancer who can't live at respite. I never knew that there was a place where kids go and they die. I did not know. He's looking at me funny. He's gonna, you for real? What's going on? I said, bro, I didn't know this. So we got into this event, we did the talk, we did everything. But on the night, not much was told about rainbows. We didn't know about it. All night I was thinking, we've gone there, we ate food, we've done the fundraiser, but I've not met no kid. Are they really that? So in my head, I'm thinking we're raising money, but I don't know, for me it's surreal. So I'm on my phone texting every doctor that I know, every contact that I know. They go, you can't come in here, you can't come in. I said, I'm gonna. I want to go somewhere where I can meet a kid. I want to see this for myself. So I made the contact, and in the morning, there's a location, there's a hospice where the kids are and all that. So I've gone there. They've done me a favour. Told them my background, doing my research, gave them all the details. So I'm gone. I spoke to the parents first. I said, it's thank you for letting me come to see your child. They go, look, we've seen your work. The doctors, and we want you to see our son. 11 years old. 11 years old, cutest kid I've ever seen, yeah? Bald head, too bad, nice, talking, playing this game, silly game, and we're chatting away. And they've not told him he's gonna die. He's only got till next year. He will not see his next birthday. He's not gonna see Christmas. He's not gonna see it. You know what? I said, what? Do you know what I wanna be when I grow up? Do you know what I wanna be when I grow up? That's what I'm talking about, man. In my heart, I'm thinking, what? I'm gonna be a fireman. His eyes and his whole aura, his whole thing was, I want to be a fireman, I'm going to be a fireman. And I know you ain't going to see your birthday, mate. In my head, oh, you're not going to see your birthday, dude. I hugged him. I worked with the fire service crew, team. I loved them. I thought, I can't save you, dude. But I'm going to make sure that I do everything that I can to you to be a fireman, dude. I sprang my crew up. It took them 18 hours to take that fire truck to him. They took it to him, they gave him a uniform, they gave him a hat, they gave him a badge. They bring him every week and they call him boss, I've done your homework. So he's learning about fire safety. And they've given me their word. When he passes away, he gets buried as a fireman. That's what we can do, Sadie.
Yeah.
If we can't save somebody's life because it's in the hands of God, we can make it better. We got power. People don't understand that we've got so much power that we don't realize that. We're supermen and we're superwomen. We've got that. Coming back to you have seen death, you've died.
Yeah.
You've come back alive. You've thought about suicide, you've come back again. You've looked at your hands as a model, you thought, I'm ugly, but I'm gonna fucking fight this shit. I'm a badass bitch, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Then you got coming across another thing that you're in again, you're coming back again. So you're up and down, like anybody else. I asked you about suicide only because there's people out here that are watching this that think about suicide. You said, I've got a purpose, I can't do this, I'm not selfish.
Yeah.
I've got to take my own life, I've got my kids.
Yeah.
You can't walk yet.
The only thing that pulls, just to quickly, sorry,
No,
interrupt
go.
you. When I have felt like that, there's only two things that help me get out of it. One, spending time with both of my children. If I wake up, I'm like, quick, get them in here, get them in this room now, because I start to panic. So I spend time with my kids. The second thing is the group chat that I'm in with the girls, the 3 girls here. There's 2 girls who can't be here, they've got young kids, they can't be here today, but I tell the group chat, I say, I'm not feeling good today, and they pull me out of it, or they say, right, I'm going to come and see you, right, let's go for food, and I come away feeling better, and that's the only 2 things that can pull me out of feeling like that. I could feel like that for an hour, I could feel like it for 2 days, I could feel like it for 2 weeks, but that's the only 2 things that pull me out of it. If people are watching thinking, I'm feeling suicidal, nothing can help me, you need to speak to your friends or speak to somebody. There's loads of chat lines that you can speak to, you will come away feeling better. Or even to go for a walk, you'll come across somebody walking a dog, stroke the dog for a while, you'll come up with just little things like that. But if I wasn't part of the group chat that I'm in, because all they do is take the piss out of each other anyway, but if I wasn't part of that group chat, I don't know, I think I'd be sad all the time. Like my eldest son is doing his A-levels, so he isn't with me during the day. My youngest son goes to nursery. He's autistic, so he goes to nursery to do sensory stuff to help him. So I haven't got them during the day. During the day, I've got my group chat, and they pull me out of it. So yeah, if anyone's feeling suicidal, you need to speak speak to somebody as quickly as possible.
Before we go to the Q&A, if you got one message towards that way,
Yeah.
what would that message be to the people who are struggling today?
God, I've got
Just think about it. Just one message that you can say to people of what you've been through. I don't really think there is a message. But
So I just feel that tough times are only temporary. You're not gonna feel sad forever. Might take a year, 5 years, 10 years, but you will find a way of living happily again and content again. Like somebody said to me, tough times don't last, tough people do. And yeah, like sadness is only temporary. You're not gonna live all of your life in sadness. So you can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror. You've got to look forward and set yourself little goals, even if it's to get out of bed and brush your teeth in the morning. Like if it's to, I don't know, apply for a new job because you're not happy in your job, just set yourself a goal each day and just take each day as it comes. You can't, like I said, you can't drive a car looking in the rearview mirror. You've just got to look forward constantly and just have faith. Just have faith that you're going to be where you're meant to be.
thank you very
At the end
much.
of it.
Right. Questions, please.
I don't know if people are asking
If
questions
they want to ask
on my
questions to
TikTok
Sadie
or...
or to myself or about anything, just fire away. The floor is genuinely out.
I'm
Fraser,
sorry for getting emotional. It's just
No,
talking
listen.
about my kids and stuff like that. I'm just like,
No, honestly, and to the people that are watching and this podcast goes out to do cry. Listen, men especially out there, men should cry, show your emotion, show who you really are. It doesn't make you weak.
No.
You know, crying doesn't make you weak. It's not like a man
It's
thing.
passion, isn't it?
It's passion.
It's
And
passion.
it shows you more of a man to cry and show your emotion and stuff. You don't become weak of crying.
Like, I'm not having like talking therapy about the loss of my limbs. I'm having talking therapy because of my coma dreams.
Of course.
Like they're so vivid. That's why I'm having talking therapy. Like not because of what's happened to me, because the crazy stuff I saw weren't even real.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Fraser, sir?
The other day, speaking to you, you spoke about phantom limbs, which was quite interesting.
yeah.
Phantom
I think
limbs.
just to share.
That is
Did you say Fanta?
phantom limb pain. That is like the bane of my life. Like that is so painful that gets me down as well. Like the pain of that. So phantom limb pain is basically your brain is still telling the nerves and your muscles that I've still got fingers and I've still got feet. So where they've severed the nerves on my fingers and my legs, my brain hasn't actually responded to that. So I can still feel my feet and I can still feel my fingers. So for example, at the moment, I feel like I'm wearing high heels and I feel like this hand is completely clenched and I've got my fingers crossed on this one and I can't like uncross them and I can't put my feet flat. And the only way that I can get rid of that feeling is by looking at them, and then my eyes are telling my brain, she ain't got no fingers, she ain't got no feet, like stop it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
When you wake up in the morning, do you ever feel like coming out of the bed?
yeah.
Oh, you do feel like
Yeah.
coming out of the bed?
Yeah, like it's been, especially in hospital where I've sat on the side of the bed and I've gone to put my feet down and I've gone, whoa, and I've had to grab onto the table and I've been like, okay, yeah, I haven't got no feet because my brain is still telling me that I have still got
Do you
my
know,
hands
at
and
that
feet.
point, when you look at it, how does that make you feel like when you got no feet? Did you go back into like,
It's all right now. Like at first, I was like, "Oh, my feet have gone."
oh, you've got
But
all the time?
yeah, but now it's okay. But so, for example, when you get taught how to learn to walk on prosthetic legs, you do it in front of a mirror. So your eyes are telling your brain that you haven't got legs and you've got to find a new way of walking. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So they put my prosthetic legs on.
Yeah.
They sit me in front of a mirror.
Oh.
I've got to look in the mirror
Yeah.
to tell my brain I've got to find a new way of walking without feet.
So you have to constantly reaffirm yourself
Yeah, so
through your situation.
everything that I do, like moving, I've got to use my eyes. So I can't just pick up this bottle in my hands without looking at it, because my brain still thinks I've got fingers, so I'll just be sat here like this all day, looking like an
Also,
idiot.
everything you have to look
I've
at.
got to look at the moment. Hopefully, I don't know. I've spoken to other amputees, and they said that the phantom limb does go over time, but not fully. But it's not only the feeling of it; it's so painful. It's it's like electrical pain, and it will like shoot up my leg into my hip, and I'm like, oh, or it will shoot into my elbow. It's because the nerve endings have been severed. Like, it's been completely severed. The nerve endings have got nowhere to go. They've got no foot to go to.
Once that leg goes, when it goes, like,
No. But apparently the pain does go if I'm lucky. So the only tablets that I'm on now is just for phantom limb pain, for nothing else. A little bit of like some vitamins and things like that. But
well done, look, well done.
oh no.
How many pills were you taking before?
So at the moment I'm taking 15
But before
tablets
that,
a day.
More than that?
No, so before I had my legs off, it was 13 tablets a day. Now I've had my legs off, it's 15. But hopefully, I really want to gradually come off of those tablets.
It's pain relief, yeah?
It's pain relief, but I want to, it's the type of pain relief that you can't just stop.
Okay.
You have to wean yourself off of it. So next week I'm going to be speaking with somebody to try and just wean myself off. It's going to take months to wean myself off of it. The tablets I'm on is like a nerve blocking tablet. I'm on quite a lot of those. I'm on morphine and a methadone based medicine as well. So it completely takes my pain away. It's a controlled drug, but I don't want to be on tablets for the rest of my life.
How long will you take it? Like a couple more a day? You're out of it?
No, I'm not. No, don't make me out of it. When the pain relief starts to wear off, that's when I'm like, oh my God, like, I can't do anything. The pain is so bad. So, for example, I've gone through all of the night asleep without pain relief. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm sweating, I'm in that much pain, and I don't sweat. I'm sweating in that much pain where I'm like, Mum, I need my tablets, and I can't do anything for about 45 minutes until this pain relief's kicked in before I can even brush my teeth or pick up a drink. Like, it's that painful. So maybe swap some medication, or I don't know, but phantom limb pain is like the bane of my life at the moment. I think if I didn't have that pain, my life would be so much easier, and I'm praying that as the years go on, it will go. But
Inshallah. Next question, please.
Have you got any more operations, or is that it now?
yeah, so I've got 2 more operations on my hands, but my doctor, Mr. Barabbas, who's been amazing all the way through, said there's no rush. Like, I can do it in 6 months' time, I can do it in a year's time. My main focus at the moment is my legs, and I do really want a procedure done which you guys, my friends, have tried to fundraise for. It's called osteointegration. So it's basically where they put a titanium rod up your shin bone, and then I won't need prosthetic legs. It will literally be getting out of bed and go click, like you're putting on slippers, and I'll get up and walk.
Where's that link? Is the link
So,
where's the link?
yeah, so I've set up a GoFundMe, so the link is actually on my social media and my friend's social media. It is so expensive, but it's for the rest of my life.
How much is it?
175k.
What have we got so far?
So far, we've got about 30.
Okay, yeah. Well, but the
30k.
link will be
So-
on the video.
Sorry. So far, but see what I mean? I didn't look, and it's just knocked over. But so that's another operation that I want, but that's not going to be for a long time, I don't think, until I get the funding for that. But yeah, I'll literally get out of bed and just click my feet in and then walk. What's going to be a struggle for me with prosthetic legs is I haven't got the hands to put them on.
Okay.
So you need to put the sock on, then you need to put the silicone on, then you need to put the leg on. Now you need to pull the sock up right up to here. I haven't got the hands to do that. So this is when the surgeon said to me, osteointegration is the best thing for you. Unfortunately, they don't offer it on the NHS. And I'm like, right, okay, how much is it? Yeah, it's 175 grand. Where am I going to get that money from? Like,
You are going to get the money. We're going to fundraise.
Like, where?
People.
So,
hit the link with the bio and
so
start donating.
answer to your question, there are operations coming up, 2 more on my hands, but I'm not in any rush to have that done. And then hopefully osteointegration, if I get enough funds for it. I've had 12 operations altogether so far since Christmas, so I'm not really in any rush to have my hands operated on yet. I just want to heal.
Zoe?
So in regards to the operations, do you feel like you're looking at it in a fearful light, or do you feel excited to get moving on with the process further?
Oh, that's actually a really good question, because I know every operation that I have now is for me to go forward, but after you've had an operation, it's a setback as well. So, for example, having my legs taken off, I feel like I've gone backwards because I can't really do much. But I also know that having the operation is a step to go forward. But every operation that I go into feeling like I'm not going to come out, I'm not going to wake up, because the operation that they tried to do on Christmas Day, I ended up in a coma and with 8% chance of surviving. So every operation I have, I do think I'm not going to come out of this, hence the phone call to you 2.5 weeks ago. I was like, pray for me, because I don't feel like I've got to come out of it. And then once I'd had it done and I was awake, I was like, I'm alive. And then I went to the hospital and they said, oh, you've been casted up on the 4th of October. I'm like, I'm excited. I'm excited to get my legs. But I know for a fact when I go in to have an operation on my hand, I'm going to be like, I'm not going to come out of it. But once I'm out of it, I'm going to be like, right, I'm excited to move on to the next chapter. The reason for the operation on my hands is to basically get prosthetics to fit on. Because at the moment, the shape they are, they won't fit on. So it's minor surgery, really, just to be able to fit a prosthetic on in the future. So all my operations have got a positive outcome, but as you go into them, it's natural to feel scared. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
Emma? Everybody look at Emma, please.
Hey, sorry, I've got a light in my
She
eye.
loves the attention.
What are the next steps, and how much do your children know about what happened to you and what
Yeah.
outcome's going to be?
So
Good question.
with my kids, I've got a massive age gap. So I've got a 17-year-old, who's 17 next week, and a 2.5-year-old. So it's a really big age gap. My 17-year-old knows everything, absolutely everything, and he thinks I'm a legend. Like, he's like, Mum, you're TikTok famous, I can't believe it, and stuff like that. He thinks I'm really cool. Still don't want to have a fight over with me or anything like that, because he's a 17-year-old boy. But my 2.5-year-old, I was like, when I was in hospital, I was like, he's going to be so scared of me. He's not going to want to come near me because my hands look horrible. He's not going to want to come near me because I've got no feet. Like, he's going to be scared to come near me. And then when I came out of hospital, he was there, he was sticking Peppa Pig stickers on my legs. I was sat on the floor, he ran his car over my stump and was like, ouch. I was like, yeah, ouch. And like, he still like rubs my hand, like still strokes my hand. So explaining it to a 2.5-year-old, I don't. He just sees it, and I just make everything as normal as I can for them. As a mum, you do, don't you? Like, oh, come in, like, I'm all right, come here, everything's fine. With my 17-year-old, I don't show, with my kids, I don't show any fear whatsoever. I think you do, like, as a parent, you put on that brave face, don't you? Like, everything's got to be fine. So when I was going to London, for example, to have my legs taken off, I said to my eldest, I was like, right, I'm going to London for a few days now. I was like, be good, I'll see you when you're back. Give me a cuddle, a kiss, be good, you know the rules, don't be stupid. Like, 'cause I can't get to you if anything happens, I'm going to be in London. He's like, Mum, everything's going to be fine, don't worry about me, everything's fine. And then I rang him the morning of my surgery, he was going to school. I was like, right, have a good day at school. I'm being operated on today. Just want to say I love you, have a good day. Just kept it as normal as possible. And then rang him after school. All right, I've just had my operation done. I'm absolutely fine. Just letting you know that I've had it done. Hung up the phone. I was in tears. I was like, I'm not fine. Look at me. Look at me. But as a parent, you do put on that brave face, for your kids. My little boy sees everything. My eldest knows everything. So I think I'm doing the right thing. I do get them involved with stuff. Like with my eldest, I've said, oh, what colour do you think I should have my prosthetic leg? Do you think I should have this on it? Do you think I should have that on it? What new trainers do you think I should buy to put on the end? So I do involve them in stuff. And like with my youngest, like, oh, pass mummy your toy, and I drop it. And I'm like, oh, and now I like pretend to pick it up, and he's laughing his head off, my little boy, laughing his head off because mum can't pick up the car. And I'm like, oh, I'm so silly. And then he'll do it again, and I'll pretend then to drop it. I'm like, like, I'll pretend to drop it. So I might make everything as normal as possible, if you know what I mean.
Nice. Baba?
Yeah. Physical side, like, your operations, I just want to say, like, you smashed it. Like,
Thank you.
Being here has helped me a lot, listening to you, but I just want to know, like, I don't know if anyone said it, but, like, the mental side.
Yeah.
Night time when you're on your own, like,
yeah.
how have you helped?
Saying before you answer it, he's been through a lot of...
Okay.
I don't want to go into
Nothing,
it.
like, compared to you,
No,
right?
but
I'm not like...
Like, when people say that to me, I just feel that because of what's happened to me, doesn't make what you're going through like any less important or any less traumatic than mine. Like everyone's head like deals with things
The journey's different,
differently.
man. And just to let people know that he reached out to me. The first time I met the brother, he reached out to me on social media.
Cool.
Like he went to Zanzibar. He's
That's
been
good.
through a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you for being this far as well. And we really wanted to meet you.
Oh, that's really
He
nice.
wanted to meet you, wanted to be a part of the team. And
Cool.
here he is today, man. So well done, congratulations, my brother, man. for doing
So you're asking how I cope mentally?
Yeah, like, night on your
So-
own, it's like...
The mental side of it is harder than the physical. Like, I've never, ever suffered from a mental health illness before. I mentioned earlier in the podcast that my eldest son's dad passed away. He actually hung himself. So my eldest son has only known me. So when my mum had to explain, oh, your mum might die, in his head, being a 17-year-old boy, was, well, my dad committed suicide, and now my mum's dying. Like, what about me? So, I now understand to a certain extent about mental health, but I'm still struggling to deal with that myself. Like, the only thing that I found that helps me is speaking to my group chat or having the kids in the same room as me. There are a lot of things that trigger my anxiety. One of them being, and I know people are saying it with a kind heart, but when people say to me, oh, I feel so sorry for you, I'm like, oh my God, why? Like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going to happen next? Why do you feel sorry for me? Like, don't say that. That triggers anxiety, and I know that they're saying it with a kind heart, but I want people to be like you just did, just smashing it.
Do people say that?
People say I bet they've seen it on my TikTok.
Actually, people actually say that.
Like, I feel so sorry for you. I feel so sorry for you.
That's rude.
No, they're saying it with a kind heart, aren't they? But
That's a kind.
like, they're
Is that
sorry. Like, if somebody passed away, they say, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, but sorry for your loss, but not like I feel so sorry for you.
They feel sorry for what's happened to me, I'm guessing.
I don't know, but I find it rude, man.
But for me,
It
that
does, doesn't it? Am I dumb here or not? Am I dumb? Thank you very much.
for me, that triggers anxiety. So I'm just like, oh my God, like, now what? I find that drinking alcohol is a massive no when like, you're suffering from like poor mental health or
Can I drink?
mental health. Huh?
You drink?
No, I won't at the moment. No, because
Did you drink before?
yeah.
A lot?
Oh God, yeah.
A popper?
Yeah.
Are you a pop
I wouldn't now. I wouldn't now. No way. Because I know the next morning I'm not going to be okay. Like mentally, I'm not going to be okay. I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink ever again in my life because I know that something will trigger me to feel down and that will make me feel 10 times worse.
So you're never going to drink again?
I'm going to try my hardest not to. I will try my hardest not to, but so I'm going through like talking therapy at the moment, but some days I'm on the phone to like this therapist and I think, you're patronising me. I don't want to speak to you because you're patronising me, and then I'm rude because I don't feel like talking that day. I don't want to talk to somebody who has learned from a textbook. I want to talk to real people, like my friends, like Atik. I want to talk to people that have experienced real life, not gone to university and read it out of a textbook and asking me stupid questions that are irrelevant to how I'm feeling today. Like, so I don't really know how to answer your question because I struggle with it. And the only two things that get me out of it is my group chat and my two kids being in the same room. That's it. That's the only thing that helps me on that day. And crying, obviously.
We'll add you into the chat later.
Yeah, thank you.
What about the support from the NHS hospitals and doctors and stuff?
Yeah, so I have like occupational therapy. They come out to the property to see if it's safe for me to be there. I have physiotherapy. I have talking therapy. I have to go back to critical care every 6 months just for a follow-up because once you've been in a coma, 90% of people who actually survive and come out of a coma suffer from PTSD. So I go back to critical care and have a little group chat with people who have been in a coma.
Sadie,
So, yeah.
overall, NHS has been good, like the
Yeah.
system is really good to
Yeah,
you.
really, really good.
Fantastic.
That's why I did a fundraising event. I raised £2,000 for, well, just over £2,000 for the people who saved my life because they've been amazing.
Do you get regular massages and stuff as well? Like,
No,
just to
I don't.
let you know that Zoe's sitting there. She's got her own clinic over there.
Oh, cool.
Zoe is a proper professional. She's amazing at what she does. Honestly, and I'm being serious. Sports physio, anything. If you ever need it, I'll give you her details.
Okay, cool,
She's
thank you.
amazing.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely brilliant. So, you know, look after, give it a little discount, right? Because we're fundraising at the moment.
Thank you.
Any other questions from this side? Any other questions on the internet? Fraser?
I just want to say well done, Sadie.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry for spilling that water and getting them. I knew that I was going to get emotional tonight. I knew that my coma dream would like creep back up into conversation. But I'm glad I've spoken about it because I'll go back tonight and I feel all right. This is sort of like therapy, you know.
Therapy, look.
This is like therapy, like meeting new people and
There's
stuff.
things you said tonight, there's little details in between the days that I didn't even know about.
Yeah. It is sort of like
Which makes
therapy.
it even more incredible.
Of course
Yeah.
it does, of course. And just to
And I'd like to speak to you after,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
obviously,
Yeah, so just
everyone
network
else.
with people. Look, just to conclude this, thank you.
Yeah.
It's always when the door's closed and you do your real thinking. That's when your state of mind sees.
Yeah.
That's your real you. Everything else is.
But I don't want to think about my past. I don't want to think about me before sepsis. I don't want to think about the massive hospital stay that I had away from my kids. I want to think about what I'm going to do going forward. I want to focus on. I want to go back to work. I want to drive again. I want to go on holidays. I want to go out with my mates. I don't want to be just known as the girl that got sepsis. Do you know what I mean?
Also say as well that you still made it to Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah, I made it. I still went to Guns N' Roses. Yeah, it's like in my wheelchair. Like I need to go see Guns N' Roses.
Bless them, good friends. Who for me? For me? No. Oh, I said.
You just said that you don't want to think about, you before everything that happened to you. You want
Yeah.
to look into the future.
Yeah.
How hard do you find it to focus on that? How hard? What do you do to
So
focus on the future and focus on all the things you want to do.
my life has been full of trauma. So, like I just mentioned, my eldest son's dad committed suicide when our little boy was 5. That was a massive trauma. 2 weeks later, my best friend passed away. Then I got into a very abusive marriage, where I fled domestic abuse with 2 children. 6 months later, sepsis hits me. When I was with somebody at the time that I got sepsis, when he found out that I was going to be an amputee, he didn't want to be in a relationship with me anymore, so I lost the relationship as well. So it's not just sepsis, which has been a trauma. I am lucky that I lost that. That was not the guy for me. Exactly. But when I say I don't want to look back, I don't want to look back at my past trauma. I want to go forward. And the only thing that makes me go forward is doing things like this. Sorry, I don't know your name, but you've just said, like, thanks, like, you've helped me. I don't even know this guy. So, like, doing things like this make me feel like I am going to have a job again. I am going to be able to do things that I want to do again. If I can make it here and change somebody's life already, or change their way of thinking just for today, then it's going to be okay. So, yeah.
Your last question.
Have you had an apology for the negligence?
Yeah, I have. The doctor who missed the signs of sepsis, he wrote me a letter of apology, and I'm not even angry with him. I'm not. I was when I first got told, but now I'm not even angry. I'd actually like to see him and say, this is me now because you missed these signs. Don't miss the signs on other people. I'd really, really like to see him again. I don't know if that would ever happen, but yeah, I have had a letter of apology. Yeah.
Emma?
Another question. Will you use your experience and your journey to become a motivational speaker, do you think?
I hope so. So I've always been in a role of, like, job role of care and nursing and things like that. So I've always really liked to help people anyway. And when I first came out of my coma, I was like, well, I'm never going to be able to be a nurse again because I've got no hands or legs. I thought, like, how else am I going to be able to help people? And then I met you and got involved with Unspoken platform, and I'm still helping people. So, yeah, does that answer your
Yeah,
question?
I think you should.
Yeah, hopefully you will. Like, you've got a few dates for me set up, so I'll be there, and hopefully that goes all right.
To wrap this up, I just want to say first of all, thank you.
Thank you.
It's not easy sharing your journey like this because it's private, it's family oriented, it's about your children.
Yeah.
So thank you for opening up to the people on social media. Thank you for coming over. It's not all about motivation, it's all about how real you want to be. Mm-hmm. Every single person has a story to tell. I've got stories to tell. So have you. Never look at other people's story and think, shit, mine's not big enough. It's big.
Yeah.
It's big. She had an issue with what's going on. I had a wisdom tooth taken out. Trust me, it was the worst thing I've done for myself. It's not big for other people. They laugh at me, but I creamed it. Honestly, it was hard for me. But just to put it in a nutshell, never, ever in your life look at your problem as little, like the brother said just now. Oh, it's not as big as yours. It is.
It is, yeah.
It is, bro. Your journey was massive for you, but we're going to overcome all of this. Shame on us that we have to look at colour and creed or status to help you. Shame on us. Shame on us that we have to look at people and say, he's not Asian, so I can't help you. He's not Muslim, I can't help you. She's white, I can't help you. Shame on you people. We are human beings. There's no colour, there's no creed, there's no religion in the world that doesn't teach us kindness and giving. I'm a Muslim for me. You are for you. My religion teaches me to be kind and to be helpful and to look after my neighbour, not my Muslim neighbour. I am and I'm going to be the best motivational speaker in the world. I can say that because I'm going to achieve it. If I was to sit here and say I'm ugly and I'm not going to be good and I'm shit, only shit things are going to come into your life. Mm-hmm. because your mindset is shit. If you turn around and say, this is what I want to do, I wake up every single morning and I look for opportunities. Sadie could have gone anywhere. God planned this for us not to be in each other's lives. She's not only my friend, she's my sister. And now we've become like family. So whenever I go, she's gonna eat with us. We're gonna grow as a family. If your children need help, whatever, we're gonna be there. There should be a time where you could be in a park. A kid could get stuck somewhere and you just run and save this kid. Now you're looking for the parent. Look, can I save your kid? Because if you touch him, he's like, you're a pedo, you're a Muslim, you're like, what the hell? You're better off letting the kid fall and you're happy. And then you're gonna get, why didn't you help my son? We live in shitty times. But guess what? This is the most magical thing that's gonna happen. We're gonna change that. When I say we, I mean us. We're gonna change that mindset. We're not gonna look at who you are, we're gonna take it. If a kid's gonna fall, we're gonna save that kid. We'll face the consequences afterwards. Do you understand me? If we live in fear and we live in this shitty environment that we can't do this, we're finished. What are our children gonna grow up as? What are they gonna do? The best thing about this whole journey of Unspoken is we're bringing the realness back. We're bringing the vibe back into it. And we're gonna be so real, and if you don't like it, we're gonna make you like it. Simple as that. There ain't no hate here. Somebody called me a smelly packet the other day. I blew a kiss at him, as I love you too. I could turn around, and honestly, I could turn around and change him, and he can iron me out, or I'm gonna iron him out. You should have seen his face. When he called me, it wasn't the packy bit that got me, it was a smelly bit. That's not nice, man. He was a lot of money about stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? What? I go, you know, like, you call me smelly, man, that hurt me more. You bastard, yeah? In the car. And he said that. And then I said, I love you. And I blew him a kiss. And I swear, man, looking at me like, he's thinking, that's called him my packy, man. And I was thinking, you call me smelly, man. Fuck the packy, I don't mind that. You know? So you gotta take it as it comes. First time we've ever done the homeless through the charity. The first time we've ever done the homeless, 10 years ago, I can remember it clearly. We opened the boot, 4 guys, beards, sandwiches out of the car, and I swear, this girl goes to the homeless people. The packies are here to run. They even run, yeah? And I got, the first thing is, what the fuck? Then I said, where the good packies, come back. So then she thought, oh, they must be Indian then. So they've come back. Then you educate them. You educate them, say, look, you see the cow here, don't say Paki here, say Pakistanis. I'm giving you Subway sandwiches here. They go, yeah? All right, you educate them. Now the same homeless people are helping us. The same homeless people that I'm talking about, they got better homes than me. They got better homes than us. They got better jobs. It's because you don't need to worry about all this bullshit. Re-educate them. That is unspoken. You can turn around and, you know, and fight with people. How good are you? You're as shit as them. Do you understand me? So we need to bring the vibe back. Let's bring it back. Thank you, Sadie, for opening up to us, talking about your sepsis, your journey. You are going to get stronger, and I can write this with blood. This girl here, she will hit some headlines, full houses. She's going to do it. We grow. People want to know about this, and you didn't even know. Look, you got a fan club already.
Yeah.
He kind of went through me to get to you, really. He didn't like
cool.
Me. Yeah, he didn't like me, yeah. So yes, tactics here, yeah. But everybody likes you. We got schools are approaching us now. So
Yeah.
they're gonna come up, can you bring Sadie with you? So yeah, no problem, of course I can.
Did they really?
Yeah, they
Oh.
helped it a lot. She goes, please, can you receive the footages and stuff? For me, it's an honor. It's an honor to take you.
Thank
It's
you.
not about, oh, it's a tea's company. Yeah, I might have set it up. What happens when I die? It's a fact that we're not gonna live forever. Who takes over then? It's you. You don't take it over. It's a base where you take it over and let it grow for our children, for all of us. Be a part of it. Be a part of it. Let's save lives together. Thank you. for your
Thank you.
time. Emma, Zoe, my brother, all of you. Thank you so much for coming. You know, what's your name? Anisha. Everybody, thank you for coming over. What we're going to do now, and also, Mr. I've not known him long, you know.
I know.
I swear
It's
I've not
so
known
good.
him long. Fraser, this is a bit weird, but I've met him at the jacuzzi. And I was like, this is really shit. I was sitting in the jacuzzi, He's in there, and then he said, look, I want to be your mate and all that. I said, all right. Be my mate. Yeah, no. On a serious level, the first thing he said is, you know what, mate? He's like, I can hear you before I can see you. That's how it started. So we started talking, and honestly, hand on heart, he's one of the most, genuinely one of the most nicest human beings on the planet. And I'm going to say this, thank you for your time. He has his own family, he has his own business, but he always, this is all free of charge. This is all of his equipment. He does it for free. He does it for the love of people. He is part of Unspoken. I call him my manager, which he is, but I don't pay him. But he's a top guy, yeah. And thank you. This is how the journey starts. This is how the journey starts, man. Don't be shy. I like to get things for free. If you don't ask, you ain't gonna get, right? Especially for charity. Go to walk into places. I've gone into army shops here. I said, look, man, there's a lot of homeless people. Give me some sleeping bags in it. They go, what? I said, give me some sleeping. All right, take two. All right, take two. Just take two. Then you go to another shop and get another one. By the time you know, you've got 50. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So always fight for other people. Not your own people, because you lot are my people. When I say good morning, my beautiful people, I mean all of us, man. Even the ugly ones go, yeah, man, you call me beautiful, man. You know, there's some people I feel like ugly, innit? Like, you know, this chair, thank you for the chair, you know what I mean? Because I would have been on the floor like this, like 2 for 2. But with him, I'm right there, so thank you.